Hey guys, Loco here with the mid laner of 100 Thieves, Huhi. Huhi, a lot of people had 100 Thieves way up in power ranking, second, third, sometimes even first over Team Liquid. Not quite where you guys are placing right now. Can I ask what happened with 100 Thieves? Like what happened with like the Huhi Afro synergy, Bang coming in, no more Cody Dunn, no more Rikara, like everyone was so hyped. What happened?
I think that's still like honestly speaking, a question that we're trying to figure out. Like we also had the high expectation of ourselves, but on stage it's not really showing. So it's like if we knew the problem, like we would have already solved it. But I think like we're figuring out like what the problem is, and every week like it's kind of like a different problem. Like sometimes a communication issue,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we're just not like playing properly. Sometimes we were like just off,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like trying to figure out like solve it as soon as possible whenever those kind of problems pops off.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just it feels really bad for the fans and like for ourselves too, because like whenever like I hear those things, like the only thing we can do is like we have to like just try to figure out the problem and fix it. But yeah, it just feels like every single week it's like maybe a new thing or new like twist, so it's hard.
Isn't it a bit worrying that you guys can't pinpoint the problem and actually solve it if it's something new every week? That actually has me more worried as a 100 Thieves fan than if you guys told me, hey, this is the problem and we're trying to solve it.
hmm I mean, it's definitely worrying. That's why I think we're not doing that well. But we are actually pinpointing like the problems that's coming up, and I do feel like the every problem is getting like smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the end we'll reach the level that we don't have to worry about those things, and we can like just focus on playing and win the LCS games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think in general like we're just doing our best. Like everyone, like we're playing third block. We're like doing every review, like every loss, every wins, like professionally. So I think we'll end up there.
Mm. How much social media do you look at if your team isn't doing so well? Or in general, how much social media do you look at?
I think personally, I usually don't look at when it's I know that it's gonna be negative, because like I already have to focus on my like own sadness and like improve on my mistakes. So I don't really have like extra energy to deal with like those mean people sometimes. But in the other hand, when I'm doing well, I usually try to go on social media in purposely
Mm-hmm.
and try to take some of those energy from them. Like, oh, okay, like this is the people that are still supporting me. Like, I want to really do like well for them, stuff like that. And yeah, that's how I deal with it.
So today we actually got to see Aurelion Sol from you. It's been such a long time since we've seen Aurelion Sol. Sometime last year, I'd imagine. Do you still think the champion's good in the meta? And why did we get to see Aurelion Sol today?
I think Aurelion Sol is a special champion to me, and people used to ban out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, people started to not ban it because of like the meta issue and stuff like that. But now, like the assassins are gone, I feel like it's slowly for my time to bring the soul back, and I want them to make it ban it.
Mm-hmm.
So like I do feel like nowadays it's a pretty like viable picks, and like we've been having a lot of success in scrims. And today I was just a little sad that like I picked Soul on stage, and then we didn't get to pull off on stage. But I'll say it's a pretty normal thing because on Soul like the strat, like you have to know like your teammate, like they have to know what they have to do. So on stage it was our first time with this roster playing early in Soul, and obviously like it didn't go as planned, but I think we can definitely improve on that and make it happen next time.
So you're a player that a lot of people have so much differing opinions about. Some people are like, oh, Hui's so great. Like, he can communicate really well. He has really great early game. Some people are like, oh, no, Hui's really bad. Like, limited champion pool. He's really bad early game. He can't lane. Like, who are you as a player? And, like, how do you view yourself? Like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Like, what do you think of some of the criticism and some of the praise?
I think it's like game by game. Like I have different strengths. Sometimes like I like to focus on my own lane,
Mm-hmm.
but usually I like focusing on teams a lot too. So it's like I think it's just on me to put where the focus to, and I think for now like I've been putting a lot of focus in the team more generally, and that was like something that I wanted to kind of improve on. And like sometimes I have to know that when it's my time to put the focus on myself and focus on my own, and yeah, I'm just trying to improve on those things.
Isn't it really hard as a mid laner to put focus elsewhere? Because everything starts with mid lane, right? Like mid lane priority allows you in the jungle to fight for crab. Mid lane priority allows you to go bottom dive or invade jungle. Isn't it hard when you can't win the lane or if there isn't focus on that spot?
Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of things is a factor, such as like champion picks, and I think the most is like from the jungle mid jungle synergy, and by saying that, I do feel like laning doesn't really matter. Like as long as like your team knows what we are gonna do as a team, you can always push as like the mid as long as like you and your jungler or like your team is connected. So that's why maybe like some people are saying like my laning is weak, and that's where like I will argue like you don't have to win lane, and that's why I am playing like that. But maybe like that's the disconnect that we were having.
So what's the synergy with Onda been like, since Onda is someone that's known to be very quiet and you're someone that's known to be very vocal? So I was really curious like how that 2v2 works and how your synergy works.
Definitely like it's one of my like low communication jungler that I had, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like he still is really vocal about what he wants to do and like how he wants to improve when it comes to post game. And in game, like he just usually try to like cover us a lot in lane. So I think that's maybe one of his weakness that he's having currently, but he's definitely like improving on it a lot. So I just feel like he is like kind of like a white shit where like we can draw anything on it, but I feel like he has his own power to draw an amazing like drawing. So yeah, I think as a team, like we're just like pretty happy with Andy, like about his ability to do anything, and like he's really flexible towards us too.
So we're nearing the end of the interview. For the 100 Thieves fan, can you give us something to be hopeful about, something to look forward to?
Something to be hopeful about. It will have been really great if we won today and we were keeping like the 4-win streak and to move forward. But like sadly we lost. But we are gonna do our best tomorrow match and like show off there. So don't be too sad and wait for us.
Thank you guys so much for watching the interview, and if you enjoyed the coverage, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much to Low Key Community for making this interview happen. If you guys want to support them, the link is going to be down in the bio.